Hi guys, good evening, and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host, Eddie, and in tonight's video, I'll be giving you my very enthusiastic and very pleased review of the latest and greatest episode of The Walking Dead, which seems to have given us a whole brand new storyline to focus on with everything else going on in this season. Damn, I can say just damn, but wow as well. So, before I get into all of that, of course, please be warned, like all of my episode reviews, this is a spoiler, and I mean spoiler-filled episode review. So if you haven't seen the latest episode of The Walking Dead, or if you're not an AMC Plus member like myself, you do not want to keep watching or listening, as I will be discussing big spoilers. That being said, you have been warned, so let's dive right back into it. Again, spoiler warning issued, because this is a doozy, so you have been warned. Let's do it. First and foremost, I really enjoyed this episode. I feel like it was like the Pulp Fiction of Walking Dead. They were able to tell a story that made sense, but in non-chronological order, all happening at different times. And it helped that they had little captions pop up saying, 12 hours earlier, 1 hour ago, 1 week later, or 1 week ago, and shit like that. That was pretty cool. That was a creative way, a fun way to tell the story. They tried to do something similar back in Season 5 for like the first half of Season 5. It kind of worked and it didn't. And I think it's because they tried to do it over the course of multiple episodes, where here they just did it within one episode. In my opinion, it worked a lot better. I still enjoyed Season 5, don't get me wrong, but I felt like it just worked a lot better to tell a non-chronological story in this way in one episode rather than over the course of half a season or so. Just one man's opinion. Okay, back to it. So I really loved the Pulp Fiction type of feel and vibe we got for it. I also loved how this episode was filled with misdirect. You know, we got a cameo from the awesome and legendary Michael fucking Biehn, who I watched earlier this weekend in one of my favorite James Cameron movies, Aliens, as the likable Marine. And oh my God, as soon as I saw him, I'm like, oh shit, is that Michael Biehn? It is! And I was so excited that Michael Biehn was joining the show that I should have known better to get my hopes up, because sure enough, he's killed within the same episode. Because like, damn it, I was really hoping Michael Biehn would be part of the final season. Because I really thought and hoped that Robert Patrick back in Season 10 was going to be part of the show. But no, died in his first episode too. So, damn it, Walking Dead. But it was still a real treat to see him. But getting back to the misdirect part, I loved how this episode got us to think Michael Biehn was going to be our new big bad. His people were going to be our new enemies. And then they just pull, you know, a ball out of left field. I don't know if I'm using that phrase or that expression correctly, but they pull a 180 and this, you know, this weird and somewhat incompetent guy from Commonwealth that Aaron works for suddenly goes into like badass mode and wounds Michael Biehn's character, kills 2 of his soldiers, and takes control of the situation. And it turns out this guy is an ex-CIA operative. And a switch can go off in him like that when he goes into CIA operative killing mode, as we saw explained in the flashback in the secret meeting between him and Lance. Funny as well, the sad part about all of this is that we don't know if Michael Biehn's character's people, his people that he's protecting in the apartment complex, actually ambushed and took that Commonwealth caravan along with the weapons and cargo that they were sending to somewhere else for unknown reasons. We don't actually know if these people are guilty of that or not, and time will tell probably within the next episode. And so I love the misdirect where we think Michael Biehn's character is going to be our new big bad, his people are new enemies, but then they do a complete 180, and it turns out it's the Commonwealth that Aaron and Gabriel find themselves with who are the real big bad, or at least this guy, Toby Carlson, is, and the soldiers under his command were quite threatening. And it's too bad, too, because Michael Biehn's character just seemed like an intimidating, pretty scary guy who probably did decapitate all his enemies. But as he pointed out all of those people sounded really awful, really bad, and probably did pose a threat to the people living in the apartment complex. And I think he was just trying to size up his possible new enemies in Gabriel, Aaron, and the Commonwealth. And unfortunately, if that prick Toby hadn't taken control of the situation, it seems like he really was just going to let them go and told them, we're not interested, just leave us alone. But then Toby did his thing, and then all hell broke loose. So this episode was great because it was exciting, action-packed, shocking, and surprising amongst other surprises with the misdirects. Negan is a part of this apartment complex group, and he's the one who actually brought this to the attention of Maggie and her people. I also loved how this episode was very misleading in the beginning, in the first 10 minutes or so, where we thought this episode was going to be a story following Maggie, Lydia, and Elijah, and it turns out they were hardly in it at all, only in the very beginning and the very end, but still being brought up to speed on everything that happened throughout this episode. Again, wonderful at the misdirects. Very fun, very creative. And now I also loved how Negan was starting to, I think, do some self-reflection or it was starting to hit him or impact him, how it must feel now to be on the other side of the bat, so to speak, where this guy Carlson wasn't killing anybody with a baseball bat, but he was pushing these people to their death because they weren't giving him the information he wanted, because it seems likely that these people didn't hijack that Commonwealth caravan like him and Lance Hornsby think they did. So it's interesting to see the look on Negan's face there. But these people in the apartment complex seem like a strong community. So hopefully with the help of Gabriel, Aaron, and Maggie and her people, they'll be able to take on Toby and his Commonwealth platoon. So we'll see what happens. But overall, great episode. Super fun, super inventive with the fun misdirects, the shocking surprises, both in terms of character returns like Negan and an epic cameo in the form of Michael Biehn, who sadly was only with us with one episode, but hey, it was better than nothing. So that was great. Oh, what an excellent episode this was. I am so excited for the next one. Can't wait to see what they do next. But this episode was great. Oh, this was exciting and refreshing. And I'm so loving the final season, as I hope you guys are as well. So what did you think of it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings and theories on it. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome rest of your night. The Walking Dead drops new episodes every Sunday on AMC and a week early on AMC Plus, if you're so lucky to have it like I do. Have an awesome rest of your night, everyone. Thanks for watching. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.